Hello YouTube, welcome to another ride. Today is going to be a little bit different. If you watched the channel before, you may know why. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Moron Wandering. We're going to go have a nice ride. And yes, those of you who have figured it out already, I am not on one of my normal bikes. I am on a new bike. So I've been looking all summer at some little adventure bike that I could take out, or dual sport that I could take out on a lot of the back roads around here. I have no experience with any of that, and I would like to get some. So all summer I was looking around for a nice used bike, and I found a few, but I was not in one especially I found was really nice, but I was not in enough of a hurry. So I just figured it wasn't meant to be. And then yeah, recently a salesman who I'd been talking to about a carryover and some other few things reached out to me and asked me, it was the end of the season, if I'd be interested in just going with a brand new one. And I originally told him no, I don't want to pay that much, because it's something I'm going to take out on trails like this to learn on. This is why I bought it, for roads like this. But I don't want something brand new to go out and learn on, because I would get nervous, because I don't want to have to pay a lot of money for something. And he said, well, it's the end of the season, I don't want to sit on this thing over the winter. He had a few in stock, maybe two of the, this is the normal standard KLR 650. Oh yeah, it's KLR 650 if you guys haven't figured it out yet. I suppose I should say that. But oh, this is a 20-mile-an-hour road. I better slow down here. He had a few in stock, couple of the normal seat, and I think 3 of the S, the short model. And he said, I don't like sitting on these over the winter, because when they come out as carryovers, people want the hell of a deal on them anyway, and then all he had to do was store them for the winter just to give them away for the same price. And I was like, okay, fine, give me your best offer. And he gave me the best offer, and I had to ask him to repeat that offer because I thought I heard it wrong. And he gave it to me again, and as he's saying it the second time, I have a little piece of paper, I'm on the phone talking to him, and I wrote it down like what he's saying, and I'm like, he gave me a good deal. He definitely wanted to get rid of this bike, because I've been looking at a few, I might have to go exploring back there one day. I've been looking at a few used KLRs that are of the 3rd generation like this, some 22s that people had bought, and there's quite a few people who buy these and seem to not get along with the seat height and sell them right away, I've noticed in my area. And the price he was giving to me, out the door, the price he was giving to me, I couldn't even touch those used ones at. So I would be stupid. I know I'm always saying that I'm looking for the good deal, just waiting around for the perfect deal, and yeah, if I didn't take this one, somebody should smack me in the face, because it doesn't get any better than this. So I got a brand new with the warranty, everything, for cheaper than I could have bought a used ones for, and that's out the door with my title, and they got me the plates and everything included in that, where if I buy a used one, I'd still have to go buy the plates, or, you know, renew the plates, whatever, change over the title, pay the taxes. Yeah, the title and the taxes is what I'm thinking on a used one. And yeah, so I'd be stupid. So yeah, so here, welcome to the new bike. It's a 2023 KLR 650 standard model, no ABS, no frills, no anything, just the simple as could be, the way I like it, because I bought it to do roads like this. I live in central Minnesota. We have no technical mountain trails or anything. We have a bunch of lakes and a bunch of fields, and because of that, there's all these little meandering roads like this that go around the lakes and through some fields. The lake ones are much prettier, but the fields one can be fun too. And I bought this just to do this, and yeah, I've had it for 3 days now, and put what, 172 miles on it, and I gotta say, a majority of my riding has been on gravel roads, which I'm completely new to, so I'm just getting out there and going nuts, just trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. So if you see me doing something stupid, you know, feel free to be nice about it in the comments, please. I'm new to the off-road riding, or not off-road, gravel riding. How about that? But yeah, this thing has been working perfect. It's on the highway, you know, I'm past they say for the first 150 miles, just go slow, which was fine. I took back roads home from the dealership, and I've been riding a lot of gravel roads, so that hasn't been a problem going slow. But I'm past that to where I can start to pick up speed, and this thing has no problem doing the kind of even highways that I am not an interstate driver. And when I'm on the bike, I don't like riding on the interstate. Even when I'm in the car and doing a trip, I'd much rather take back roads at 55, 60, and even 65 rather than taking the interstate. And this bike will handle all of those perfectly fine. I've already, you know, tested a little bit higher speed. Not enough to go crazy on the new engine, but just to kind of see if it was super vibraty at that. And yeah, it was a little bit more. The mirrors were wiggling, but to be honest, it's not that bad. The biggest thing is I'm used to hearing the V-twin, and so at first my big thing is I was shifting way too early because I'm hearing this little single cylinder whine out, and I'm thinking I'm at twice the RPM than I actually am, just because, and it just gives that different feel. But yeah, so far I am loving this bike, and this was one of the main ones I was looking at all summer. I was also looking at like a Honda CBX that I've been looking at, and some V-Stroms. The V-Strom I would have liked to have test driven. I wasn't able to. Oddly enough, there are not a lot of used V-Stroms in my area, and not a lot of Suzuki dealers. So I wasn't able to get a good solid checkout or test drive on one of those. I was extremely interested in one of those, but these things are everywhere, new and used. And so I figured, well, parts market, I like to hold on to my bikes for quite a while. Parts market, that's going to be perfect, because as long as they're everywhere, from generation 1, 2, and 3, you can find everywhere still and running perfectly. So that's a good sign, and that means, yeah, that means I'm going to be able to find parts pretty easily. I hope, if I need them. It's a Kawasaki, so, you know, I have one other Kawasaki already. I've never needed parts for that thing other than normal maintenance, so I have no doubt that this is going to be in the same boat. But yeah, working like this, I am new to the gravel road, as I've mentioned a few times here now. And so stuff like this, I don't mind. I have a little mini bike that I take out running around with the kids sometimes, and the wife, and so I'm used to going straight like this on the mini bike. It feels exactly the same. But the part where I'm a little hesitant and got to get some practice is in corners. Like you see the corner sign coming up here. That's where I need to get a little practice. I understand the counterbalancing and all that stuff. That's actually the way I was taught, and riding in town on a normal street bike is counterbalancing, and you know, for slow speed maneuvering. So I just kind of figure I do the same thing out here, and it's been working fine. But yeah, I'm also not sure what is a good speed. I've just been kind of puttering along between 30 and 40 on most of the straightaways, slowing down a bit on corners, and I'm not sure what the average turning speed on, you know, this is kind of that looser gravel on top, so I'm not really confident enough in my tires to really see what their limits are. And I'm not sure if I'm kind of at them already, or if I should be expecting a little bit more out of them as my skills get better. And also I should probably start practicing standing up in some of those corners, but I don't know. This thing seems to handle everything sitting down, and you know, I'm bought it for a nice relaxing ride, so as long as I can sit down, why not? This thing is comfortable. Speaking of the comfort, the one thing that was worrying me was the taller seat height on the KLR. And because of that, I was also, you know, checked out a few of the S models, and the S model had the lower seat. The seat lost like an inch of squish, and I really didn't want that, because not that the seat was uncomfortable, but the way that the pegs are to the seat, I wanted a little bit of room there because I don't like being cramped. I don't like usually I don't like mid controls just because I feel very cramped when I'm on them. And if I'm sitting on them long enough, I actually, you know, start to get the Charlie horse thing going. And these are extremely comfortable. Everything about the ergonomics for this, I am just a hair under 5'10", and I have a 32-inch inseam. And my heels, I cannot flat foot this thing, but my heels are just hovering. And this bike is so light. I know a lot of people say it's a heavy bike, but I suppose they're used to dirt bikes, because to me, coming from the cruiser world, this thing seems like a featherweight. And having, you know, leaning over on one foot only is not a problem for this thing, because it is so light to me. You know, I'm pretty sure if I would take off some normal dual sports or a dirt bike, I would probably change my opinion. But like I said, I have no experience with that. This is the most dirt orientated bike I've ever owned, or other than when I was a kid taking out a few friends' dirt bikes and my mini bikes that I got now. This is as off-road as I get, or have gotten. And yeah, this is probably about as off-road as I am wanting to get. Yeah, see here on the corner, I get in that really high or thick gravel, and it feels a little bit more twitchy in the corner, and I'm not really sure. Of course, I am doing mid-30s, so maybe I should slow down to that. Maybe, I don't know. Tell me if I get a little bit more. These are the stock tires, and to me they seemed like they'd be a nice combination of highway and gravel, and I don't know what to expect on the gravel, so I don't know if they're doing good here. I haven't fallen down yet, so I'm calling that damn good. You know, as long as I don't fall down, I'm happy. And on the highway, I've got no complaints. They've handled everything that I'm going to do. This is not a sport bike, so I'm not, you know, carving the corners with my knee touching or anything. That's not how I ride. So I'm out usually doing a relaxing ride, and this thing has no problem keeping up with me. But other than that, yeah, this thing is just perfect for stuff like this. If anybody has been thinking about one of these, with my 176 miles of experience on gravel and off-road or on-road, I have zero complaints, and that's coming from somebody who has a little experience on this. So as far as taking out and being a beginner on this stuff, I've been driving it like a motorcycle, and it's been doing everything I wanted to. I just been doing it a little slower, and that seems to be working for me. Yeah, I do have some nice shadow. I am out at the you know, as soon as the sun came out this morning, I got out to do some riding, and I've been doing that all this weekend. And it's been a horrible weekend to have a new bike, because in Minnesota we've been getting right below this weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, and we've been right below 100 degrees all weekend, and a high humidity. And for central Minnesota, that's a little bit higher than normal. And so I am obviously not acclimated to 100 degrees, and so when I come out in the middle of the afternoon, I go for a short ride and then go home and enjoy a cold beverage again, and then try and cool off a little bit, get some water stuff in me, and then go for another. That's kind of how I've been doing it this weekend. You go for a little ride like this, go home, cool off, put on a you know, one of those thin little nylon type shirts underneath. I've still been wearing my jacket just because I don't know, I want the protection, just because I don't know what to expect with this, so I figured I'm gonna have this on, even though I'm roasting in it. But one thing I did notice yesterday when it was super hot that I didn't realize is when you're going slow like this, obviously you're not getting the wind movement that you would be on the highway like I'm used to. And so when it's 100 degrees or little below that, oh yeah, this road is wiggly. I'm also not clamping tight on there. As you can see, I was one hand off, so I'm letting the bike do what it wants to do here. I'm not fighting it, so I'm thinking that's helping. And but yeah, when it's this hot, you do not get the air movement. So where people are riding through the desert in all the full gear, I could see where they would want the full water bladder and everything like that with them, because holy crap, I was getting sweaty out here on all the back roads yesterday. But I noticed that, yeah, when I stood up, I could get a little bit more wind. And this windshield, people always put that thing where it, you see a lot of people do the mod where it flips the windshield up. The little spacer goes in there, and I have this thing on the low setting. That's where it came. And boy, I got no complaints, even at that highway speeds. I like a little bit of air moving at me. You know, my Vulcan and the Sportster. Vulcan has a windshield, but I only put it on when it's cold. And the Sportster has none, and I love those things the way it is. But this thing is, I still get a little bit of wind, but it still takes a lot of wind off my body. So I don't know that I would need more than that. Yeah, see, here it is really deep. You can even see there's a bicycle or something I was riding on the side that was even digging in. So yeah, I'm roads like this where it's really deep, I am extremely nervous and new, but I just got to get out there and, you know, keep working at it. And my yeah, another thing, non-canceling signals coming from a person who does mostly Harley riding where they cancel right away. I got to get used to that. I run into the same thing on my Vulcan, but I'm an idiot. I got to look down every time and make sure to hit the button. But it was funny, I was riding this thing all day a few days ago, the first day I bought it, you know, taking out for all the trips. Then my daughter wanted to go for a ride, so I hopped on the Road King, and the first corner I went around, I hit the horn because I was used to this one, and I went to go turn off the blinker, and this thing where this is at is right where my horn is on my Road King, and so right after the corner, laying the horn and kind of looked down like, what did I just do? Yeah, so my daughter was laughing. Moron wandering, you know, easy to spot us. But yeah, this is we have a lot of roads like this in Minnesota where it's just the back road going around a little lake, and this is where, you know, I'm missing out on a lot of the roads that I could be having fun on, just kind of puttering along, and I think I'm going to enjoy this. But if you've listened to me, you know, ramble on for who knows what about this thing, don't worry. There's going to be plenty of the Vulcan and the Sportster and the Road King. You know, this isn't going to be. I'll turn into just a KLR video for some time. There'll probably be a little bit more as I'm learning, but yeah, I'll still plenty rotate around the other bikes, so don't worry about that. And yeah, if anybody has some quick and easy pointers to a guy learning stuff like this, feel free to comment below. If anybody else is thinking about one of these or something similar, comment below. Yeah, somebody had made the comment that I got in the comments in my last video that somebody was looking at something, but they didn't want one of these because they plan on doing a lot of touring, and I would agree with that. If you plan on doing a lot of touring, this is, I could do it. Like I said, I have no problem riding the highway, but I am not looking at long distance touring. So if you're doing that, I'm pretty sure there's a better engine for that, you know, maybe something with a parallel or a V-twin where you get a little bit more power. For what I'm doing, this thing was perfect. I don't need the power for doing most of this, and except for going a couple hours north on a bunch of forest roads, I don't plan on doing any long touring on this thing. If I was, I would take the Road King and just skip the gravel roads. But yeah, so for me, this thing works perfect. If you're planning on doing a lot of that, it might not be the way to go. But if you're looking at stuff like this, boy, this bike is great, comfortable, handles everything well, light and nimble. This thing is, I was surprised at how nimble this thing is once you get it out in actual traffic. You know, test drives, you don't really get a good feel, but yeah. If you made it this far, God bless you. And thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff. But again, God bless you for joining me on the ride today. And yeah, more to come. Till next time, God bless you. See you later, YouTube. Have a good one.